here's an interesting question, guys, because now they don't give us the slope or the y-intercept. They just give you 2 points. Well, the first thing we should write right away is that these are 2 points. So isn't this my x1, y1, x2, y2? And once we know this, couldn't we easily find the slope? Because remember, slope stands for, in Greek, it's called the delta y over the delta x, which is another word for change. When we call the change of y, you know this formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Well, let's use this formula and just plug it in. Look, we already know our y2, which is -4. Plug in the minus in the formula, and that will be y1 is 6 over. What's my x2? That's a 5 minus a -1. Watch out for that one. Well, what's -4 minus 6? That's simply a -10. And what's up with a negative and a negative? That makes it positive. So 5 plus 1 is 6. If we were to reduce this, I think I can divide both by 2. That will be a -5 over 3. Well, we got ourselves a slope. Our slope, letter M, stands for -5 over 3. Well, if you guys remember your slope-intercept equation, y equals mx plus b, we just found m, find the slope. So it's y equals -5/3 x plus b. Now, the last thing we need to find to finish this is letter b, the y-intercept. But notice that we have a bunch of letters we need to figure out. Well, to find b, we got to use, again, one of these points. It doesn't matter which one. We just need to make sure to use the easiest one so it's easy for us. I personally would like to use this one. It doesn't matter which one though, but let's just plug it in. That's your x, that's your y. So just replace them. So my x is -1. So I'm going to put -5/3 once again. I'm going to put a -1 in there. Let's write everything, guys. Plus b equals, well, what am I putting for the y? +6. Here we go. Well, that's equals 6 equals, well, -5 times -1. Isn't that a +5? And 3 times 1 is just 3. Okay, almost done. Now, I don't like fractions. I don't know about you, but fractions are that kind of friend you don't like sometimes. So let's use a little strategy on how to get rid of it. Well, I tell all my kids in my class, if you don't like fractions, you multiply everything, the whole thing, by the numbers that are at the bottom. In other words, the denominator. We multiply everything by 3, or in this case, same thing, 3 over 1. Let's start multiplying, guys. What's 3? That's a 6 over 1, right? What's 3 times 6? That's 18. 18 over 1, right? What's 3 times 5? That's a 15. 1 times 3 is 3. And what's, remember, there's a 1 there. What's 3 times 1b? Well, that's just 3b over 1. Now, if we were to simplify, 18 over 1 is just 18. 15 over 3 is just 5. And 3b over 1 is just 3b. Bam, look at that. Fractions are gone. Now let's just leave the b alone. -5, -5. 18 minus 5 is 13 equals 3b. And the last thing, to find letter b, we just divide. And notice we're going to get a decimal. I don't want to leave a decimal, so I'll just leave it like this. 13 over 3. So my final answer, remember, we're finding an equation. Y equals, what was my slope? -5/3. -5/3 x plus b, 13 over 3.